Hey everyone, so I did a video yesterday and I was talking about the cameras that I've been looking at for YouTube. I've been looking at some different cameras. What I'm recording with right now is the Sony RX100 III. Now it's a few years old now, but it's still quite versatile. It's got a flip screen, it's very portable, and you know, the video quality is pretty good. The main downside is no external audio, so all the audio you're going to hear in this video is coming directly from the camera. So there was some good suggestions. Vapey, good suggestions about the M6 and the Canon M50. So those are ones I want to check out. I'm going to look at a lot of different cameras, and I do keep flip-flopping. This is my process of looking at a new camera. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to head down to the gym, and then I'm going to go to the shops, and just things that I do every day. But what I thought I'd do is I'm going to take this camera out in the car to see how it performs. But before I do that, let's jump upstairs because there's some noise in that room. I've got a lot of rigs running in the background. There's a lot of noise in there. A little bit of room in here as well, but you should hear the noise a lot more in my office. So now I'm in my office. This is where I normally record, but I normally record with this Shure SM7B microphone, so you don't hear all the background noise that you're probably hearing just now. But if you've watched my channel, if you look at my videos, you probably see me sitting in this chair in front of this monitor, and yeah, this is where I do the majority of my videos. But as you can see, there is a lot of noise, and this does illustrate one of the downsides of a popular compact camera like the Sony RX100 series. No mic input. There's no mic input, and this is something I would like. I am looking at the Sony RX100 Mark V, but it doesn't have a mic input, so I can't put like a shotgun mic on, or I can't put a lavalier mic on it. So these are things that I would like to add. There's a lav mic there as an example. But yeah, these are things I would like to add. I think it'd be pretty cool to add them to a compact camera, but it doesn't have it. And this is one of the downsides to it. There are workarounds. I can use, audio recorders. I've set up rigs before, guys. Before anyone starts saying that, why don't you set up a cage? And I did all that before. But what I found is that when you start overcomplicating things, you don't start recording with it. And that is ultimately what happens. So as you can see, guys, I'm in my car now. I don't know if I'm in the shop properly because the way that this camera is positioned close to the screen, I couldn't flip up the screen to check whether I was in the shop. Now there is a Sony remote, a Sony remote control. Oh great, traffic lights, roadworks. There is a Sony remote control thing, like for your phone. I've not set it up. I'm going to set it up later. It's not something I've ever used for this phone, but it's something I'm going to use with the Sony RX10, and I'll do a different video about that and test that. But yeah, the main thing to pay attention to here is the audio, and pay attention to stabilization. So pay attention to stabilization, because normally when I'm recording videos in the car, I would use my GoPro, and I did a video recently where I spoke in my car using my phone, where is my phone? I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. You know what? I think I've left it in the house. But I do normally do videos using my phone, and come on, move. The problem with that again is stabilization. So I'm keen to see myself. It's been a long time since I've drove with the Sony RX100, so I'm going to see how it performs. This is still all the traffic from back there. One roundabout goes out of commission and it's chaos. So yeah, the main problem with the Sony RX100, I think most people is, it is the audio. And it's not like the built-in mics are bad per se. It's just that, in certain environments it isn't the best, because, well, you're going to pick up all the background noise. Sometimes that's what you want, if you're trying to pick up, the environment that you're recording in. But not when you're in a car. In a car, ideally, you'd use a lavalier mic, or perhaps a shotgun mic, or some sort of directional mic. The built-in microphones on the Sony RX100 probably aren't the best for this kind of environment. At the end of the day, they've got a tiny little microphone built into it. This isn't a dedicated microphone, it's not like a big mic capsule that's inside it. You know, this camera, it's small, it's portable. I still don't understand why they don't put one little input in it, but they don't have it. So that's something you're going to have to deal with. So the engine is off now. It is a little bit quieter, and it shouldn't be as shaky because, well, the camera is stationary. So yeah, I think the Sony RX100, it's probably better than a smartphone for vlogging in the car. But if you're really looking for stabilisation and, you know, all that kind of stuff, you really should go for an action camera. An action camera in the car is smaller, it's more portable, and you can put in an external mic as well. Right guys, so I finished the gym and I'm starving, but what I thought I'd do is do a video just quickly outside to show you in the car park, because it's not windy. It's not windy per se, but yeah, it'd be good to show you what's outside. So yeah, outside, this is where probably most people use it actually. You know, you're walking around and you hold the camera up like that. I've generally used it in the house just because that's, you know, a lot of the time I'm reviewing products and things like that. But if you're wandering around, this is what you'd be doing, and holding your hand up like this because the sun's in your eyes. So guys, I'm back home. I'm in my living room. I was looking at some of the clips I recorded today, and it's just a reminder, you know, what the point of this video is. I wanted to demonstrate what the Sony RX100 Mark III can do. Now, the RX100 Mark III isn't a new camera. It's like 4 or 5 years old, and I bought it quite a few years ago. When I bought it, I think I bought it second hand for £320 in the UK, when it was retailing for about 600. And you know, the RX100 range, ever since the first generation, it's always been a fantastic camera. They have refined it and improved it over every generation. The generation after this one, the Mark IV, they introduced 4K. We're now in the 6th generation, Mark VI. But you know, I need to look at more reviews of the 6, but I know in the Mark IV and 5, yes, they can do 4K, yes, they can do slow motion and all these other cool things. But when recording in 4K, there is an issue where it overheats. But you know, I'm recording in 1080p, it's not a major issue for me. So some of these clips today, I just wanted to demonstrate, you know, the pros and the cons of this camera. You know, a lot of people, I've always seen people complaining about the autofocus when when you put your hands in and out and you're moving around, it doesn't focus well. I've personally never had a major issue with it. I don't know if it's maybe because of the type of videos I've been doing. It's not something I've ever had a major issue with. I've always found the autofocus to be okay. Yeah, it could be better, but in certain situations, you know, if I was doing a product review, I'd probably use manual focus anyway. But as far as vlogging goes, I've never had a major issue with it finding my face or finding the face of other people in the shot. But as far as stabilisation goes, well, normally I would use this. This is my GoPro. As I said, I have did a video before with my phone, and it was too shaky. The action camera is fine, it's got fantastic stabilisation. This also has, as you can see here, using an adapter, it's got a mic input, so I can put a microphone in here using this god ugly microphone adapter. This thing is expensive as well, it's like £50. Now, the action camera works great. I don't use this enough either. But the problem with the action camera is, well, firstly, the battery life is horrific. You can charge it whilst you're recording, so I guess that's not a major problem. But just with the touch screen and things like that, it's not the best. In fact, when I'm recording in the car, I normally control it via my phone. But then that presents a whole new problem. The app, the official GoPro app, is really bad. It always, you know, the connection always kind of breaks away. It doesn't stay connected as long as it should. And all in all, yeah, it's a little bit fidgety. But I actually found recording with the RX100 in the car to be quite good. I was actually quite impressed by the audio in the car. You know, when I was in the kitchen, you heard the noise coming from my fridge and my freezer and things like that. But in the car, I didn't think it was that bad. In fact, I think it actually could be a good alternative to a GoPro. But it did have some noise and stabilisation issues. You probably noticed that when I was in the car, when it was kind of shaking because of it attached to the window. But there's probably a workaround around that. Just using a different tripod, a mount. The way I've got it just now, I've got a Joby kind of It's like an extension arm thing, it comes out. Maybe there's a better solution out there that doesn't shake with the window. So yeah, that's maybe something I can explore. But yeah, I was actually quite impressed by how little it was shaking. It was a little bit of shaking, but there was mostly it was the kind of noise coming from the, you know, it was vibrating in the window. But the default mics are good, but it's not going to replace, you know, a lavalier mic or a shotgun mic. Now, it's one of those things, you can improve audio very easily. You know, you can use a little portable audio recorder. This can take a lavalier mic as an input. You put this in your pocket, you record at the same time, and you know, when you get home, you put both, you know, you put this into your computer, you put the files in the computer for the video, for the audio, and you sync them up. Very, very easy to do. But it gets a little bit more of a pain in the ass when you have multiple clips. If you've got one big long clip, I would normally go for an audio recorder. But when you've got lots and lots and lots of different little clips, you want to put them all together. Well, this is when, you know, you're finding files, you need to try and sync all the files, and all the, you know, the whole point of using a vlogging style camera is to, you know, to have a good camera, but to do it quick, to not spend a huge amount of time editing and all that, well, for me anyway. And when you're syncing a huge number of files, it becomes a pain in the ass, and all of a sudden, the 20 minutes that you took to record is taking hours to edit. So yes, there are benefits. You know, you can use an external audio recorder, you can record audio separately, even do it via your phone if you want, but then you're going to have to spend more time editing afterwards. But as far as the camera goes, I think that is still a fantastic camera. It's still a versatile camera, and if you're looking for a really affordable camera for YouTube, I think you could do a lot worse than buying the Sony RX100. Any one, you know, if you can pick up an RX100 Mark 1, 2 or 3, or even 4 or 5 or 6, depending on your budget, but any camera from that range, I think people would be happy. Now, again, the whole point of this video was to see what I wanted, but it was, hopefully you guys can find something from this as well. What I'm trying to say is, I'm looking for a new YouTube camera. I'm trying to, you know, do different style of videos and just introduce different videos to my different cameras to my setup. Give me a few different options there. And every camera that I've got is fantastic in one way but limited in another. So you're always trying to find that balance. You know, the RX10 here is amazing. It's got the mic input, it's got the headphone input. I can, you know, I can do HDMI out there as well. But it doesn't have USB charging, and it doesn't have the flip screen either. It doesn't go to the side or left, it just kind of comes out like that. This is a fantastic camera as well though, and what I'm going to do is do a separate video, and I'll try and mess around with this as well, because there is a remote control that you can download on your phone or your tablet, and you can use it to get an idea of what, you know, the shot is like. It's not perfect. I would prefer an articulating screen, which you get in like Panasonic and Canon cameras. I would like to see the screen going round, but I can again work around it. But I'm going to continue to look at some different cameras out there, and you know, if you're starting from scratch and you're starting YouTube from scratch, you'll probably start with your phone. But modern phones today, you know, it's a very different story than it was 5 or 6 years ago. Today, if you've got a modern flagship smartphone, chances are your phone can do 4K, can probably do 1080p, even the basic cameras can do 1080p. And these cameras might look really bad if you're moving around because the stabilization isn't there. But if you put your phone in a tripod and you put in like a little lavalier mic here, you will be surprised at the quality you can get from modern smartphones today. It's not the perfect solution, but it is a good starting point. The good thing about having a few different cameras when you're looking for a new camera is that you have a better idea of what you're looking for, and this is what this video was about. I've been using my RX100 today because I want to know what it can do, but more importantly, what it can't do. And that's why I want to spend some time with the RX100 and the RX10 here, well, the Mark III and the Mark 1 here. I want to spend some time with these cameras and do some videos with them to get a better idea of what I need and what I don't need. And I guess I'm quite lucky in that regard, that I can look at my existing cameras, I can look at the existing cameras that I've got and say, well, I love this camera, but it doesn't have USB charging. I love that camera, doesn't have a mic input. I love that camera, it's too big, doesn't have USB charging. The shot, is, you know, the zoom isn't good or whatever. Every camera has its strengths and weaknesses, and yeah, I'm going to look at these cameras and then look at some of the other options out there. All the things that I'm saying just now though, these are applicable to me, these are applicable to the style of videos that I do. There really isn't one size fits all, and just be careful of that. You'll see a lot of YouTubers will say, this is the ultimate camera, this is the ultimate camera. But there really isn't no such thing. You know, there's cameras, you know, look at the Sony A6500, retails for thousands, amazing camera, but it's very expensive and it doesn't have a swivel screen that you can see yourself. Now I'm not saying that that style of camera should have that, but if you're doing a vlog style video, if you're doing any kind of video where you want to see yourself, well that's where this flip screen that I'm looking at here comes in very handy. They all have their strengths and weaknesses, and sometimes paying more isn't always the answer if it doesn't do what you need it to do. So yeah, take that into account. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've been revisiting a camera that I've had for years. It's been out for, you know, it was out for years when I bought it as well. It's been a fantastic buy for me, and I can still sell it for, you know, pretty much get £100 less than what I paid a few years ago. So I would encourage you guys to check out second-hand cameras as well, because most people that buy cameras for video or, you know, just for photography, they generally look after them. Generally they do. So check out second-hand prices as well. Revisiting the RX100, I'm quite impressed with it. I think the battery life is good. The audio is very good in certain situations. Right now it's probably okay, maybe a little bit echoey because I'm in, you know, my living room. It will pick up a lot of background noise though, and in certain situations, like for example you're outside, it will pick up a lot of wind noise. So that, you know, depending on the types of videos that you're doing, it could be ideal, or it could be a backup camera, or it could be a travel camera. You know, again, strengths and weaknesses. There's no ideal camera out there, there's no perfect camera out there. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I really do appreciate everyone who left comments on my video the other day. I'm going to be looking at, you know, a lot of different cameras because I'm still trying to figure out what I want myself, and that's what this video was all about. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've enjoyed looking back at an old camera, but one which I think still performs well, and it's quite a, you know, it's a used bargain. Let's put it that way. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll speak to you all in the next one. Take care.